How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you another Spy Family episode review and recap. Today's episode is episode 7, The Target's Second Son. And before we go any further, please make sure you hit the target by hitting that like button. Also, help me out by hitting the subscribe button so we can get straight to 200 subscribers and then take this channel further beyond. Don't forget to share the video and hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this. So, if we remember last episode, Anya did her killer punch on Damian, which has spilled a lot of trouble. I can appreciate when things spill over, especially from episode to episode. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference between cartoons and anime. Lots of consequences, although exceptions to the rule do not disprove the rule. I digress. Let's go on with what's going on in this episode. So Loid is He's thinking in his mind about what happened the last episode with the introduction and Anya punching the kid, and how Plan A could just make her a scholar, but Plan B, the friendship scheme, which is a lot easier, becomes friends with what's his name, Damian Desmond, to get closer to Donovan Desmond, and as they get closer, he'll be able to get closer to his goal of stopping him from doing whatever plan he has that can bring about the end of the world peace that they have with West India and I forget the other country. I think it's Ostinia. That's the country that he's coming from, and then maybe everything will be all right. But he's so frazzled. He's making omelet rice, and he just splatters the ketchup on there, and he just thinks to himself, "Well, you know what? As long as she apologizes, it'll be all right." Yor wakes up for breakfast. Anya is worried that he's still upset because she's peeking through. She wears a nightcap, mind you. The color palette that they choose for that's been chosen for Anya by Endo Sensei is great because that pink goes really well with the sea green or the lilac color. I actually have a laptop that's that same color. It's probably why I like that color palette. But anyway, um, Lloyd says, "Oh, we're not gonna focus on the past. Come on and eat, or you're gonna be late." Anya has a shocked face. The fact that he's not, too upset about it, and you're saying, "You're very kind, Lloyd," and he just tells her, "Just say sorry and do your best." And Anya gets dropped off by the bus, and Lloyd sees her off, and so does Yor, and they both get ready to go to work, or do they? Well, or does Lloyd? And then Becky pulls up via car. Becky is definitely 100% Team Anya, and you know what? I like Becky for that because Becky's like, "Hey, you come by bus. You know what? Next time you can come by my car." And Anya's so funny because she calls her Ojo Sama, which translates to rich girl, Miss Rich Girl. And if Becky ends up having the Ojo Sama laugh, the oh ho 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 laugh, and she does the whole thing like this, if that ends up being a part of her character, she has risen in the ranks as one of my favorite characters. Actually, her being Team Anya kind of already puts her up there. And so, Becky's like, "I'm not going to adopt you. I'm just saying you can ride in the car." And she's kind of jealous of the dorm kids because they don't really have to rush to get ready. They just get ready and just already be there. And of course, they see the Damien crew, which Damien still has this look on his face, and of course, his cronies, Rat Tooth Boy and Conehead. They're like, yeah, they're a holes, right? And Becky just goes bleh, just outright bleh to them. And Anya tries to say sorry to Damien like the plan, but Becky pulls her along, goes, "Hey, don't no, don't stop. You end up catching the stupid." Lloyd did not go to work. Technically, he is at work because he's on the rooftop. He was so worried about everything. He's spying on it. He's like, "Damn you, Black Bell girl." He says, "You know what? Wait, the Black Bells and the Desmonds, they work together very closely. Could it be that she's derailing the whole mission?" He's like, "Calm down. That's not true. They don't know about the mission." And now, first class, they're in math class. Nobody wants to sit around them because they're thinking Anya's barbaric and all this other nonsense, and Anya hears all their thoughts. But Becky makes things better for her because she's saying, people are so shallow that they only see, what's on the outside. And she tells, "Hey, just stick with me. I know how great Anya really is." And even though Anya can hear those thoughts, she ignores them because she's looking at Becky's smiling face like, school might not be that scary. You have a friend. You secured a friend. I wish Loid would just see past a lot of this. It feels like Loid's stunted growth as a kid. It's very. This isn't even a spoiler at this point. It's been hinted at so much that whatever war went on with when he was a kid, maybe he lost his family, lost his friends, and such. It stunted his growth to the point that he's emotionally basically dead almost. And anytime emotions rise up in him, he just kind of swats him down and turns into the twilight mode is what we call it. It's just I'm looking forward to him growing, right? Because Anya's growth is literally her growing up and being smart. Yours growth is I don't know yet, and Loid's growth is him becoming more emotionally aware. um, so yeah, Anya and Becky sit up front. Damian, while the roll call is going, he's like, no one's ever hit me. Not even my older brother's ever hit me. And he almost misses the roll call. This little jerk right here, and says he's here and whatnot, but he's not really there. Um, where am I at here? And Anya can feel like the intent. It's so funny because during this math class, she falls asleep, and they're doing equilateral triangles. So the fact that they're doing this for 5 4 5 year olds, I don't remember doing that early. I, I guess they're already expected to already know how to do all the other stuff like the math and the times tables and all that stuff. But she's falling asleep, and even the teacher thinking, like, man, she falling asleep during the first class. Maybe she is a delinquent. Which, you know what? Give me delinquent Anya with the long skirt, the bomber jacket, and a baseball bat. Forget it. You all treating her badly. Maybe she needs to treat you badly. I digress. Anya calls Desmond the second son. She's totally set on apologizing for the mission. And Becky's like, you don't know what he can do because he's such a jerk. And she kind of jumps on her back and is like, don't worry, I'm gonna protect you. And then Anya's just like, oh. And Loid, who has disguised himself as a janitor, it's very obvious that it was Loid. He's going, oh, stupid girl, no, she needs to apologize. And Anya knows. He's like, oh, it's Papa, Shishi, because she can read his mind. You can't really hide from her. Um, so using a mirror while Anya's at science class outside, he makes this thing, and this is in straight English, everybody. This isn't Japanese. This is in straight English that says, "Fortune teller Yokio." I guess Yokio is probably the name of the continent, maybe, but fortunately, because you see Yokio on their language books as well, so maybe I need to do a little research into what the names of some of the continents and countries and states and provinces are called in the world of Spy Family. But it says, Fortune teller Yokio says, today is a good day to apologize. And she's like, Kami-sama, is this God? Why do I feel this overwhelming pressure? She feels the pressure from Loid. Man, this guy he really doesn't understand things. But anyway, in language class, her book is different from everybody else's because there's an example of a young boy apologizing to someone. She's like, it seems like I'm reading something different. Okay. And then the trees, as they're going to lunchtime, the trees have SORRY, have sorry in there. Someone has a note slapped on their back saying sorry. He is trying to get her to say sorry. And when Anya thinks about going to go apologizing to Desmond, because Becky's like, ugh, so they're just gonna go to their dorms and eat. And Lloyd's like, that black bill girl's getting her way. I need to remove her. By the way, he has infiltrated the lunch staff and made a rice with omelet, because that's what Anya wants, and made it say sorry all over it. So Becky gets called to Tower A, and Hall A over Tower A, and she's mad. She's like, I'm eating. Whatever, she goes. So Anya takes this opportunity to go apologize. And while she's trying to apologize, it is super obvious that that Damian Desmond is in love with Anya. He has this feeling in his chest, and he doesn't know what it is, and he can't contain it. He even realizes it, but doesn't want to admit it. But during this time, Anya's trying to apologize, and these asshole kids are calling her names. No, I just cursed. I'm sorry. They're calling her names, and everybody's like, oh, they're going to call her ugly, or say her legs are too stubby. She looks like a raccoon dog. And she's imagining all these things. And she just starts crying. She gets the legit tears from when that a-hole teacher was bringing up the fact that she doesn't have real parents or real mother. And these are real tears, and she's crying, saying, "I'm sorry. I just wanted to be friends with you." And his Desmond's face is all red, and he realizes he falls in love. And Anya can feel that pressure from him. She felt it when he was staring down at her in their first lesson in math class. And Desmond just runs. He's like, "Nope, I'm not gonna say it." And he's like, "You can't make me say it. I will not realize." And he just runs. And of course, Ratface and Conehead, they're not even getting it. And Loid is so stupid because he's like, "Oh man, he rejected her apology fully." I'm like, "You all are idiots. You all are dumb, so dumb." And Anya goes, relationship with Damian. School is scary, and she even calls out. She calls out for Becky, and Becky's like, "Who called me? Why are you calling me?" I love her look, just like, "Why are you calling me?" And where am I at here? So school is over. Lloyd is helping her with math, and he's being very, very hard. He's pushing her, and he's saying, if you don't finish this, you can't watch your spy cartoon. And she's trying to read his mind to get the answer. And even yours is kind of like, maybe we should take a break. He's like, no, she needs to do this because his whole thing is we can't go with the friendship scheme. We have to go with the unorthodox plan A. And Anya can't read his mind on what the answer is because he's thinking of 15 things at one time. Literally. The mission, what's going on, what to do with this, what to do with that. And it's even before her eyes were swirls, her eyes are really swirling now. And she says, "I'll read Mama's mind. Mama, can you help me with this?" And yours trying to figure it out. And she's trying to figure it out in a way that she can understand with the human body. Like, okay, it's five. Does five go into five? Well, wait. Technically, if you include the body and the limbs, it's five, but does the head count? The head gets in the way. Aya drops her pencil. She's on the ground on her hands and knees. And she's just getting burned out. And she gets her pencil, runs to her room, and goes, I don't want to study," and locks herself in her room. And Lloyd is like, she has to become an Imperial Scholar. And you're saying, is that what she wants? Like, I just want Anya to enjoy going to school. I get that she needs to study so she doesn't get expelled, but you shouldn't be so forceful. And then at one moment, you apologize. She's like, I shouldn't get in between family stuff. Still not realizing that she's part of this family. That's probably the thing that Yor needs to grow up with, realizing that she too is a part of this family. And Anya's sitting at the door with her knees to her chest. You hate seeing the good girl sad. And Yor makes some tea and some cocoa for Anya, and cookies and all the other good stuff. And Lloyd's thinking, man, she really is young. And while Yor's trying to apologize, he's saying, he says that he gets too forceful with her at times. And while she's holed up in her room, Yor thinks that, yeah, she's kind of sulking a bit. And Anya's in her bed thinking about the promise she made to Lloyd, promising, that day of the fireworks, the best episode, episode 5. And she's thinking, I promise I'm going to do the best at school. And meanwhile, with the two adults, um, but Lloyd says, your brother, he's one of the heads of the foreign ministry department. You obviously helped teach him because it was just the two of you, right? So maybe you can help Anya. And she's like, honestly, I didn't do all that great. A lot of times it was her brother teaching her stuff. Like, we get a nice flashback example of him teaching her the difference of spiders not being insects. And she said, he enjoyed when she praised him and complimented him. And he was so excited to always show her whenever he had learned something new. You see, when she's washing dishes, he even wakes her up, and sleepy young Yor is hilarious. Um, and Lloyd says, so maybe your praise was motivation. She's like, I don't know, but maybe you could be like something like that for Anya, right? Maybe you could praise her and that'll be motivation for her. And, even for things small. And, Lloyd thinks he's not her real. He doubts she wants to hear that from him because he's not her real dad. But then he goes, but wait, I need to be the ideal father for her, at least for this mission, right? We think back to all stuff they've done together and the cute moments they had. He's like, I need to be the ideal dad for her. And he thinks to himself, he has been less than ideal. But it's almost as if he said it out loud that he's been less than ideal as a father. Because yours says, you need to be more confident and remember that Anya gave you 100 perfect points for being her father, right? She says that you were a wonderful dad. And he gets a little bit more confident. He smiles, he thanks her, and then she goes back to saying, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm butting in as a stranger again. He's like, no, you're mother to the Forger family. You're a part of this family. And she says, right, I gotta remember that. And he casually says, just don't say that out loud when we're not in the house, right? And he even thinks to himself, he's like, you know what, I need to have more patience. If this could be solved by killing Desmond, there's so many different ways this could have been done already. So obviously, that is not the key to this mission. I need to just learn him, learn his desires, learn what makes him up so we can figure out how to solve this together. And the key to being a great spy is patience. I'm just going to have patience and be the ideal father for Anya. And he wants to truly understand her, which, good job. That's part of being a dad, right? I imagine that's part of being a dad, right? Being a parent. The clock chimes. I think it's time for Anya's Spy Master show, Spy War show, and he goes to knock on the door, and there's no answer, and he's wondering if everything's okay. And he opens and goes in there. Little bitty Anya's at her desk, and she's falling asleep. She tried studying by herself, and she's sleep talking to her sleep, talking about I got to do this for Papa. And he's like, you know what? I'll record the show for you. Lifts her up, put her in the bed. It's so adorable. She goes, no, Mama, you can't kill Papa. And he's like, what is she dreaming about? Oh, I know what she's dreaming about. She's dreaming about you breaking her heart, and then her mom going, I'm gonna kill you for breaking her heart. And he thinks himself a wonderful father, huh? And as he turns off the lights, and as we get a pan over the city, he goes, I wonder what it feels like to have a real family. Wow. That is the hook, isn't it? The hook is Loid and Anya need to find out what it feels like to have a real family, right? I don't know so much what your seems just like she doesn't. If it seems like maybe she feels like she's always in the way of things, right? That's the feeling you get because she very much emotionally aware and emotionally not healthy, but emotionally and sentimentally, she's able to be like, this is how things should be. Gotta take care of, not pushing too hard, being kind. Sometimes things take work. She's very emotionally aware, very empathetic person as well. Funny enough, even though she's an assassin, she has all these emotions. Loid is very calculating thinking, but while he understands the more ways and folk ways of life, he needs help when it comes to understanding what it means to be an actual family. Before we got to the next time part, apparently Yuri finally meets up with Dominic. Apparently Yuri never goes home, and he says, "Oh yeah, what happened to the party?" He's like, "Oh, you haven't met him yet." And he's like, "My sister's married." So next episode, the title was too long for me to write down. I didn't feel like rewinding it, but apparently we're gonna see Yuri at work. Yuri has come to visit, and then we get to see the brother not approve of the new husband. I don't care if I spoiled that for you already. It's gonna be pretty obvious, right? It's gonna be pretty obvious. There's gonna be someone that doesn't approve of Loid, and it's probably gonna be someone that doesn't approve of Yor from either side. I am all for it on this journey. This episode in particular, it gets a 4 out of 5. Um, I think Becky gets a gold star. She gets character of the day, character of the week for Spy Family is definitely Becky Blackwell. I love the fact that even though Anya's trick worked, when Anya's like, I did it for my friend, Becky's like, you know what? I'm all in. I'm 100% with Anya. No one's gonna mess with Anya. I'm gonna make sure she's safe. I'm gonna punch you if I have to. Don't mess with the Anya. Gold star for Becky. Um, we see the little foundation, the work that both Yor and Loid need to make. Loid being a better father, possibly a better husband. Yor needs to be more confident in herself and not feel like an outsider. So I can't wait for whenever this show. I have a feeling that this show might end with both of them realizing who the other person is, and I don't want it to end there. I want it to be like halfway. Oh man, she's an assassin. He's a spy, and then they're dancing around it, and then one day Anya just goes, "You two are this. We need to discuss." Right? I need that to happen. I don't know if Anya's still young in the manga right now, but I would really prefer if we just got, all right, this is who we are to one another. Let's all re-examine our feelings on this. Okay? Anya, you knew who we were this whole entire time, and you still cared about us. So that's going to be the driving force. I look forward to that. Maybe Anya gets kidnapped, and that's what leads them to be even closer. Who knows? But I really hope the series doesn't end with them finding out. I hope it continues once they find out. But who knows? This comedy of errors has come. Comedy of errors has come because they don't know the other person's secret backstory or the person's deadly secret. But yeah, that's a 4 out of 5 from me. Much emotion. Love how I ended off with that. What does it feel like to have a real family line? Because that's love it. What do you guys think? Are you enjoying it so far? Are you loving the unique challenges and the emotion that comes along with this comedy? Pretty cool. As always, hit that like button so I can see how much guys you like this video. We're trying to show other people what the videos are doing and what they're about. So that like button, that like really broadcasts it. Don't forget to subscribe. Trying to get to 200 subscribers. And don't forget to also hit the notification bell. Be notified of more videos just like this. Share the video as always. And thank you for taking some time out to spend some time with me. Everyone, be good, be blessed. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Be safe out there. It's crazy out there, y'all. So be good to yourselves. Be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk. And I will most definitely see you guys next time.